Everyone, oh, it's been a busy week. It's been about a week since we picked all them chestnuts up. It's really hard to video while looking at yourself in a camera. This is weird. This is my first actual YouTube video I've ever done, except for the one that mostly Georgia did when we was harvesting the chestnuts. And she just kind of, I let her do whatever she wanted to do. She did a really good job on our first video for YouTube. So it's been a week. My chestnuts have some been in the freezer. I left some at Mama's house. I left some in the refrigerator, and I'm having to get those done immediately because they're probably only good for like one more week in the refrigerator. So we washed them, and we're going to process them into flour. So what I did was, I took the chestnut and I washed it really good, and we're going to cut an X. We're going to cut an X in the chestnut with a serrated knife, and it's really hard to do because if you don't do it good, it's going to slip and break. So I cut an X in the chestnut with a serrated knife. It has to be a serrated knife or it's going to slip off the chestnut and it's just not going to work. So after we've cut an X in the chestnut and we're going to get all of them done, I've got all these right here to do, and this is just a small fraction of what we picked. I'll probably have 10 to 12 more this amount right here. So after we get them all with an X cut in it, we're gonna put them in the pot and we're gonna boil them for maybe 10 to 15 minutes. That's the way I like doing them. I think you could put them directly in the oven. But after we boil them for about 10 to 15 minutes and they just get softer, I'm going to strain them and put them on a baking tray. And I'm going to bake them at about 350 for 20 minutes or however long it takes for them to get crispy enough to just flake that shell right off. It's really the easiest way to do it. I've tried all kinds of ways. Just boiling the chestnut did not work. It was really hard to get the shell off that way too. So after I baked them for 20 minutes, as long as they're hot, they do better when they're hot. But I leave them in the oven and I do a little bit at a time and just get me a handful of them. I do them as hot as I can and I get that shell off. And after we do all that, we're going to dehydrate them all night long. I cut them in half after we shell them. I cut them in half, I put them on my dehydrator, and I let them dehydrate all night long. When I wake up in the morning, if I can't break them, when I try to break them with my fingers, if I can't break them, then they're ready. Now, I do not have the right equipment for this. I'm using my blender, and I'm beating the heck out of my blender. I put all these pieces of dehydrated chestnuts in my blender, and then I chop them up really fine, and it becomes a flour. And then I have to sift it because there's still a few rocks in there of chestnut that does not get completely ground. So I sift everything out of it, and I still have like a handful of chestnut rock. I usually just toss them out to my chickens. My goat really likes it, so I put that in with her food. So nothing goes to waste. Nothing goes to waste around here. All the shells that come off are going to go in my compost. We're trying to live off the land here. It's really important to learn to live off the land. With food prices going up the way they are, that's why we do what we do. And I've been trying to do this for the past 10 years, and it's really, really hard. It's just me and my husband and my 2 girls. My husband works. It's just me and my girls really trying to do all this stuff, and they're not all that into it yet, but they're getting there. So I'm going to cut all these chestnuts up, and this is going to take me a really long time. By the time I'm done, my wrist will not work. So I'm going to have to take several breaks during this video, and it takes a long time for me to get these chestnuts into flour. So just bear with me. I really don't know what I'm doing as far as these videos, but I hope you learned something. Thank you. Get back with you in just a little bit. So we got them all done. They're cut. They're in the pot awaiting a boil. And don't forget, if you did not cut an X in them, they will explode. If you gotta cut them, because I've had some in my oven before that I didn't cut and they just exploded all over the inside of the oven. So let me get these to a boil and then we'll transfer them to the oven. So they finished boiling. I'm going to scoop all these out onto this tray. And then we're going to bake them for about 20 minutes at 350. Okay, we got our first batch of toasted chestnuts out of the oven. And they're coming apart pretty good. See? They swell up and that shell gets all toasty and it just kind of peels right off. There's some of them still in here that takes a little bit of work. Maybe I didn't serrate it with, like, cut it with that serrated knife well. But for the most part, they come off. I get tired of peeling these things. Georgia's stealing them from my bowl. Right. I'm gonna finish these up. I've got a whole oven tray full still. I'm gonna finish these up and I'm gonna half them and get them ready for my dehydrator, and we'll get back with you. Okay, so I'm taking a break from the chestnut cutting. There's Melvin. I wanted to see if he wanted a chestnut. Hey, baby. Hey, you wanna try one? Do you want that? Oh, yeah, that's yummy, ain't it? Yeah, the deer like them too. I couldn't get to the rest that's under the tree. It was just too much work. I've got too much work right now. Oh, yeah, let's go find Pepper and see if she wants one. Okay. All right. Let's go walk across the yard. There's Prick. Man, he wants to eat me so bad. Okay. Let's see. Pepper's over here. I got her staked. I don't have to stake Melvin because he really stays right with her. And she knows I got something for her. Hey, baby. You want a chestnut? Ooh, she bit me. That's so good. You're welcome. Yeah. That's good stuff, ain't it, darling? That's all you're getting from me today. Oh, that's so good. Okay. I gotta get back to work. Yeah. Okay. See you in a little while. So this is our finished chestnut product after I got through blending it and chopping up all them dried chestnuts that dehydrated all night long. And I sifted it in my sifter right here, and I got all the rocks out and separated, and everything else that I have left I'm either going to feed to my chickens or I'm going to feed to my goats, and so nothing waste. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.